This is Tommy the Hammer hanging out with the dreaded Dean, Johnny Rocket, BC. We got Olivia because it is Olivia's pick tonight.
That's right, y'all.
Lay it on us, Olivia. What have you got up your sleeve?
We are going to be watching The Ice Storm by Ang Lee.
Ang?
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was saying it right. But I felt like this fit the theme because it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. This is set around that time and just is about a family struggling to get through the holidays, basically, the holiday chaos. So we're all going to be going through that soon, so why not live it twice?
This Thanksgiving, what we're thankful for is good friends, good movies, and good beer.
Here, here.
Without further ado, guys, you know this routine. Check out the trailer.
Peep that shit!
Peep it. We're coming back, guys. Don't go nowhere.
Next stop will be New Canaan, Connecticut. New Canaan, Connecticut. Next stop.
Once there was a time when families were strangers.
Paul?
Hey, Dad.
Guy? I'm just confirming you'll be on the 440 on Wednesday, right? So you and your sister can mope around the house, and your mother and I can wait on you hand and foot, while the two of you occasionally grunt for more food.
Neighbors were lovers.
You know, I think Elena might suspect something.
Is that a new aftershave?
Yeah. Musk or something.
And America was learning the truth.
Are you watching this?
Watching what?
Nixon doofus. He's a liar.
Calm down, I wasn't in on it.
It was 1973, and the climate was changing.
Care to play? It's strictly volunteer, of course.
A key party?
The men put their car keys in a bowl, and at the end of the evening, the women line up and fish them out.
How are the parental units functioning these days?
Dad's doing his up with people routine.
Is that good or bad?
It's just you develop a sense if things are going to work out or if they won't.
I have a husband. I don't particularly feel the need for another.
Sometimes it's not worth the mess.
From acclaimed director Ang Lee comes a portrait of an American family.
Dear Lord, thank you for this Thanksgiving holiday. And for letting us stuff ourselves like pigs, even though children in Asia are being napalmed.
Okay, it's enough, all right. Paul, roll.
They were growing up.
Wendy. A person's body is his temple.
And they were falling apart.
I don't ever want to see you.
Then why'd you come after me?
It's not what you think. It's not some big plot.
Stop the car. Stop it.
And during one winter weekend, they would discover something that would change their lives forever. Kevin Kline, Joan Allen, Tobey Maguire, Christina Ricci, Elijah Wood, and Sigourney Weaver. The Ice Storm.
Alright guys, we just got back from watching The Ice Storm, and I feel like the general consensus is pretty positive. I didn't have any expectations for it because the back cover was kind of vague, but it did not disappoint.
I think this is his best film.
Wow! Really?
It's and that's saying something because every single movie he's done, whether it's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or the Hulk movie, he brings something unique and captivating to the table. He is a visual connoisseur as a director, and he puts actors and nuance into the family characters and that dynamic at the forefront. So you're not getting some flimsy, narrative with his movies. Even if it is a superhero film, you're getting a strong dynamic with the characters. That's vitally important. If you're not invested with the characters, then you're not going to be invested with the movie. And The Ice Storm definitely makes you invested with the characters.
This movie was pretty surprising for me, honestly. Like Olivia said, reading the back, it's kind of vague. It's like, and the front of the DVD, very vague. You have no idea what you're getting into. And honestly, I am surprised that we don't all know about this movie. It seems like something that, should be more relevant in pop culture. It's, you know, you've seen, obviously, Dazed and Confused. You've seen, like, That 70s Show. Obviously, those are more comedies, but this is obviously more of a dramatic piece. But it's almost like on that wavelength only for adults. Again, I'm surprised I've never heard of this movie. I think this is, like, the perfect, like, portrayal? Sorry. Have I been drinking?
We've all been drinking.
Dean, have you been drinking?
My introduction to Ang Lee was his stuff like Brokeback Mountain, Life of Pi,
great movie.
and the Hulk film from the early 2000s.
Yes.
And then as I got more into collecting movies and more into international cinema, I learned, well, he's a Taiwanese director and he's made films, you know, in the Chinese language. And my introduction to those films was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I think is fantastic. I have to admit, I actually like this a bit more, but I won't go as far as to say it's his best film because I still have to see his other Chinese language films. That's where he made a name for himself. So, but this really surprised me too. I own it, but I didn't know too much going into it. I was just like, I like Ang Lee. I'm gonna take a chance with this and buy it, and I loved it.
It's kind of funny. I realized when we were discussing about which movie we want to watch tonight, I actually have a copy of this movie on VHS from my buddy Sam, but I can see, you know, why this was in his collection. He was a big Kevin Kline fan. He was a big Sigourney Weaver fan for obvious reasons. And, you know, now watching this, I'm like, man, dude, I mean, my boy Sammy, kind of ahead of his time here. Like, we throw around the term hidden gem a lot, and maybe it's overused at this point, but I think this truly is a hidden gem. Like, you would never know coming out of the late 90s. Like, there was no hype about this movie, like, at all. Like, I never even remember seeing any trailers for this or anything.
Why wasn't there?
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know. It's like... this movie takes place in, like, the early 70s, roughly, 73, 74 or something, and this came out in, like, 97. So we are pretty much as far removed from this movie when it was released to now as it was from when this movie was set to when it was released.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, maybe some of that perspective kind of helps this movie, like, it helps me appreciate this for what it was.
This was a lot better than I expected. Like, just because it was so vague on the back, like, I had very low expectations, which is good in some ways, but it definitely exceeded those expectations. And I think, like, rewatching this, I would probably like it even more, just because, like, I don't know, it was just that good that I feel like you would get even more out of it from a second watch. So honestly, I would give it like an 8.5, 9.
I was really taken by this film. I'm 10 out of 10.
Oh! Wow!
I don't know why. Like, I know sometimes with me, it's like, what am I gonna like? I mean, I've got different appeals, and this movie appealed to me. I think for me, it was, you had this Asian director that was using these prolific American actors, East meets West, you know what I'm saying? You had this, like, this Eastern sentiment with this Western sentiment, and it was an appreciation of, both talents, and then on top of that, you had this kind of, like, art house indie, sentiment to the narrative. I mean, and Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving movie. You don't see a lot of that outside of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that's one of my fucking favorites.
What am I trying to say?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
I don't know, but I got my beard on.
This is getting worse. What is that?
I'm just trying to think of the term over here. Sitcom? No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Dramedy.
So, like, it really reminds me of 70s sitcoms, except without the com part. It really does remind me of, like, you know, if we were doing like an adult version of, you know, something from the 70s. I couldn't give it a 10 like Tom.
I mean, it fucking jangled my jubblies.
Jangled jubblies. I'm gonna give it at least an 8. This is the perfect portrayal of 70s life, in my opinion. And, yeah, I think everyone should fucking know about this movie. We should all watch it and enjoy it.
Even though I believe that this is based off of a novel, I do think that it's very, like, special that Ang Lee was able to capture American sensibilities so well. You know, a lot of that does come through with the direction, and who knows how much he altered the story or not. But either way,
he does it better than us.
Yeah, I mean, either way, yeah, I mean,
point,
sometimes it takes someone else to help, you know, reveal things about yourself
Outside
that you didn't quite
looking
know.
in, yeah.
And I do feel like this captures this like upper middle class white family, you know, on the East Coast. Like, it captures that perfectly.
No, I agree.
And there is, I mean, I think there are points that are quite funny. I mean, we were laughing at a lot of points of the film, but I think why the drama works so well in this is that he's actually not really like trivializing these people. Like, it's really easy to make a movie where you look at them as totally terrible people or make fun of them, and even though like we like society, that's kind of what happens in that. This goes the next level and it's like, these are still people, they're flawed, but they're not all bad either. And in the ending, you care by the end, and the end hits hard.
It does.
They're just
Without spoiling anything, it hits hard.
Real hard.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna give this a perfect score upon my first watch, but I'm gonna give it a very strong 9 out of 10. I think it's very good.
When I look at this film from like a technical aspect, you know, when you think about the actors, the acting, costuming, the set design, the soundtrack, the lighting, the cinematography, you know, the director's vision for this.
The avocado?
Avocado?
The coloring. You mentioned avocado.
That is true.
While we were watching. Sorry, I thought that would be a good addition for me to blurt out. You said it to begin with while we were watching. Look at that avocado coloring. Gosh, sorry.
You're not wrong, you're just an asshole.
No, I'm not an asshole, I'm an ass. There's a difference.
Bring us back home, Rob.
Yeah, please somehow bring us back from that. Klaatu, Rata.
Next time. Alright,
Sorry.
Get it all out. Get it out. Get it out.
Hey, you're the one that says
Exercise
that everything
the
was...
demon.
You're the one that said everything was...
It wasn't
avocado coloring.
I did say avocado for the record. Dean is correct. I did mention the avocado coloring of the vintage 70s kitchen in one scene.
Go.
So, I mean, this movie like visually nails the setting. You know, you've got that avocado colored kitchen in the beginning. You've got, you know, the costumes are like pure vintage, from like the bikes to the cars. Like it looks so 70s, like perfectly. It's not like over the top, not throw it in your face, you know. But like, I mean, Ang Lee and the way he's able to like get the best of the actors on top of that, you know, coupling that with the soundtrack, like. It's just, it's wonderful. It was such a treat to watch this. And upon the first viewing, I'm going to go ahead and give this 10 out of 10 stars myself. And I would like to watch it again. Maybe I could find some flaws or nitpick something upon future viewings, but at this point, I can't. This is a fantastic film, and I'm going to go ahead and give it 10 stars.
I hope we've been informative. Until the next time, tune in to Neon Trash.
Avocado.
Good night, guys.